Hi guys, it's been a long time since I've recorded a video. Well, since I've posted a video. I've made videos, but I never posted any of them over the last, I don't know, whatever the last time was that I posted. Maybe the summer before last? Hope it wasn't that long ago. For those of you that have not unsubscribed, thanks for hanging in there with me. I've been wanting to do a video for a while, but since everything broke out, I've really been itching to do a video. I have so many thoughts on what's happening right now. I've also had some anxiety about what's happening right now, but as a believer, the Lord has continuously reeled me back into remembering that He's in charge and remembering what His promises are to us. Sometimes with life, you think it's going to go a lot differently than what you feel like you think it's going to go a lot differently than what actually happens, what it turns out to be. I've learned that so many times in my life. And now with this new event that's going on across the entire world, we've all been thrown into a situation that we never dreamed that we'd be in. Although saying that triggered some dreams that I had, and I went back and looked at them. There's one in particular that I thought I recorded, but I never recorded it. I did a series, if you're new to my channel, I did a series of videos back in 2012 from dreams that I'd had in years prior. Most of them I think some were 2011, some were going back before that. But I think this dream may have been 2011, 2012. But it pretty much, I don't know if it describes what's going on right now, but it was pretty, when I think about it, it's kind of mind-blowing. I don't know if I'm going to record that right now because I'm in the midst of cooking dinner, but I will say this, that I looked at my dream about a coming storm. I looked at my dream about, what was the title? New World System, I think was the name of it. I think of all the dreams, those two kind of resonate. There's another one, I think terrorist attacks was the third one. And in that one, I mentioned like bioterrorism. But in that dream, the virus was much more severe. The effect that it was having on people was really gross and disgusting. But I saw us, like you can go back and watch that dream, but I saw my family being escorted out. We were in a large metropolitan city. I don't know which one because it wasn't clear. But it was at night and the streets were pretty much empty except for people that were ill with this virus that was literally melting them. And they were laying on the streets and you couldn't touch them because if you touched them, you were going to be immediately contaminated. The kind heart that I have, I reached out and touched someone that was calling out for help. And then my sister saw me do it. I was with my mom and my sister and my kids. And then we were panicked because we didn't know if I'd be able to go with them or if I'd have to stay behind, and knowing that I could possibly contaminate everybody that was around me. And I remember the guy that was leading our group had on a hazmat suit. And he was all with the white suit. He was all suited up and protected. But it was kind of like now, but worse because of the effect that it was having on people. And it just kind of seemed like maybe martial law could have been in place already because this was it was like unheard of. It was like, I guess the effect of like maybe a nuclear bomb or something like that. So I don't know what type of disease that was, but it was bad. It was a lot worse than what it is now, where people were actually we were taken to, I don't know where we were being taken to, but it felt like it was going to be some type of quarantine zone camp or something, I don't know. That was never shown to me. I woke up before I saw that. But the dream that struck me the most was the one about, a dream of food shortages. So there were five dreams. One I never recorded, but one of the dreams was the food shortages. I think that's the first one I went back and looked at when I saw the shelves, when I saw the empty shelves. That's what struck me. And in that dream, I didn't mention it, but I think I mentioned that I was in the store looking at food prices like normal, and then a crowd of people came rushing in and they were panicked. But what I did not say, and I watched it a couple times to see if I mentioned it, but what struck me was, and I can see it in my head as clear as day, were the empty shelves. I saw empty shelves with a little bit of food on them, but most of the shelves were empty. And that's when I saw the long line of people. And people were panicked and worried, and I was encouraging them that God was going to take care of us. What was also striking is that there were businessmen in this store. And I said in the dream that maybe they stopped there for a snack, but it didn't. I said they were very, very concerned. But what struck me is that businesses, like small businesses, I've since started a small business, and I wanted to come and announce all that. I did a video series leading up to it, but I never got around to it. So much has happened. I have so much to catch you guys up on. But anyway, that just struck me. And I was saying, I don't know what caused the food shortage and how I was going into my theory about maybe the droughts that we were suffering at that time. Maybe that could have caused the food shortage, I don't know. But there's one dream too, and I guess I'll just briefly share it here because I don't want to make this too long. But in this particular dream, I was in a city called Riverside, California. I was in Riverside County here in California. And I was driving on this freeway called the 91 freeway. And alongside the freeway were these walls, like freeway walls, like, to block out noise and so forth. But they had these like carvings in them, like not hieroglyphics, but carvings. They put decorative carvings on the side of freeway walls sometimes. So, and in real life, this was a project they did either after that, or it could have been at the same time, but it might have been after. And when I saw them one day, it reminded me of that dream that I could see these carvings on the walls, but the carvings that I saw on the walls were different. It was almost like signs of something, like signs of the last days that were carved into the sides of the walls on the freeway. I'm starting to get some revelation from this, but anyway. So I was driving along this freeway and I got off, and I remember things just feeling eerily different. I remember just it felt like we were in the tribulation period, but it hadn't officially started, but it sure felt that way. There was like a darkness over the land, and the systems were changing, like things were changing, and it was more in line, like the mark of the beast system was kind of getting in place and just about ready to, like the early part of it or something. And then I remember seeing that a virus broke out, and there was a small trailer. There's a city called San Bernardino, California, that it's close to Riverside, not too far from Riverside, the city of Riverside, if you know California, Southern California. And in the city of San Bernardino, there was a small house, and it was like a really older, small home. And I remember this, like a camera showed this refrigerator, and inside were these little vials of, I don't know if those were vaccines or something, but some type of virus had broken out, and there were these little vaccines and these little vials in this little refrigerator. And some other things happened. I wish I recorded it when it first happened because I don't remember the full thing now. I don't remember all the details. But I remember at the very end of that dream, it's like a drone or something. I didn't see a drone, but that's the type of bird's eye view that I got. It transferred over to this mountain. There's a mountain here in California called Big Bear Mountain in Southern California. It's at the foothills of the city of San Bernardino. And at the top of this mountain, my view hovered over this campground. And there was a picnic table, and there were these stones like in a round formation, like a campfire. And one of the guys, there were these, like, I want to say 6 or 7 men, and I had seen them down in the city. They were speaking like they were sounding like they were from California. They had no accents or anything. But one of them put the fire out, and then he went inside of the camper. They had a camper parked there, and he went inside of his camper, and they had a table in the camper that had all these vials. And it had a vaccine, not a vaccine, but it had the actual viruses in these vials. And they started speaking, it sounded like Russian to one another. And they got ready to go, and I said, oh my gosh, they brought something here, and now they're leaving. And they blended in, and so no one suspected that they were doing anything devious, and then they left, and I woke up. And one of the reasons why I never posted that video, or why I never made the video in the first place, is because I didn't want anybody to think that I was being discriminatory and blaming Russians for bringing a strange virus over here. But I wish I had recorded it just for credibility's sake, but also to go back and I'd have all the details, full details of that dream to compare it with what's happening now, like I was able to do with the other dreams and the videos that I made. But in this dream, what I thought about was maybe it was a foreign thing, like it was not native to the region. I think that's the message that I should get from it. I don't know. One other dream I want to point out was the coming new world system coming or something. And that dream, and I didn't mention this, but I did mention how people were told to leave these buildings. There was nothing wrong with them. I was in a downtown area, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with these buildings. And people were told to leave, get out, evacuate, because the buildings were going to be coming down. And I said, nothing's wrong with them. But they kept telling people you have a short amount of time to get your stuff out and get out of there. Otherwise, you've been warned, and it's on you if you stay. So I mentioned how one shop that had been like an iconic historical shop, they tried to sell what they could to get rid of inventory, and then they took off and left, and they had to unfortunately leave things on the shelves and leave them as they were. And then I mentioned at the very top floor were these executives, music, entertainment execs, business execs, different people, and they were trying to get their things out of their computers and out of their file cabinets, out of the everything that was on the top floor. I even saw Mary J. Blige in the video getting some songs that she recorded out of this computer on a disc, and they were just going to get out of there just in time. But I remember how eerily silent it was. All the streets were empty, and I did not mention that part. I wish I had, but all of the streets were empty. There is a drone video that I saw from the LA Times yesterday or the day before, where they showed the streets of LA empty, and that's what reminded me of that dream. Actually, I looked at it before then, but I remember seeing the empty cities, and I was like, well, I've already seen this, in my dreams. But the buildings were going to come down, and I didn't see any bombs. There were no wrecking balls. And I mentioned no terrorism. So in the dream I shared how it's on record if you guys want to go back and look at it, but I shared how maybe this felt like a planned government, event, some government event to bring down these buildings. And all I could think of, the interpretation was the system as we knew it was going to come down, and maybe they were going to build a new system, I don't know. But the systems as we knew it were going to come down. And so I have my thoughts on things that are going on right now. I've been praying about them, and I have to honestly say I was really, really apprehensive the last few days. My sleep has been horrible. My sleep was already horrible. So I'm going through an issue with my son. He's still cancer-free for those of you who followed his journey. But we're facing a new set of challenges. We were in preparation to move out of state. We were supposed to be there already. We moved, well, it was a short move, and then we came back in 2016. But now we're going to go back. And this time he's in need of a heart and lung transplant. Without it, they've given him 6 to 12 months to live. So I'm just praying that he'll be a candidate with all that's going on. I wasn't even sure if we could still travel. We were supposed to fly initially, but he uses oxygen, and he's been requiring more oxygen. I don't know if he's just dealing with a cold, but it's getting worse, and I can't wait any longer. So if we were told that we may not be able to fly, and with all that's going on, I don't even think I want him in a plane or an airport anyway. So we may just drive, and I'm working on preparing for that right now. So like I said, I'm making dinner. It's kind of late, but I was watching another family, and they were cooking a good meal, and I said, you know what? Why bask in gloom and doom? I'm going to get up and make my family a good meal. We're going to watch a good movie tonight. We're going to have fun. And above all, the Lord has been calling me to intercession to really, really pray for direction, for a turnaround in the situation, for guidance, because I don't know about you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I kind of see some things lining up. I've been researching quite a bit, and a lot of things have been uncovered that are starting to make a lot of sense. You might want to look up ID 2020, Better Than Cash, digital ID, which is pretty much ID 2020. I'll just start there. So take a look at it. Tell me what you think. And I will hopefully be back to make more videos. I have a brand new phone now. I have an iPhone. And I have a brand new laptop, which that's part of why I've not been able to film, because I didn't have the right equipment, and didn't have the means to do it. And so anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's sure good to be back and do this. This was kind of unplanned, but I got the thought a little while ago, why not? The kids are upstairs watching TV. My sister's gonna come down a little bit. We're gonna watch a movie together. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm glad to be back, and shout out that how you guys are doing, how you're dealing with all of this. Let's pray for each other, that we hang in there, that we just know that God has got this. He's got us. And if you don't know him as your personal savior, get to know him, because that's where the peace comes in the midst of all this chaos and panic. That's where, you might worry, but then he immediately brings you back to his word and his promises, and that is where we can rest. Bless you guys. I don't want this to be too long. So anyway, I'll see you next time.